Hey people, it's Kelly at Print Pray Slay, and hopefully you were able to watch my video on how I sticker bombed my favorite book, this being The Shack, and then the first video of me diving into the forward and all of the supplies. So I'm not going to really go over all of the supplies again. I'm just going to state that I have my sticky notes here in different sizes, and then I have my pen here, which is a Sharpie S Gel, and I have some flags and my mild liner highlighters. And we're going to dive into it. Miko sees a bird. All right, so my key is here. Again, I am probably only, I believe in this chapter, I'm not even going to use the gray. I haven't used any of these colors yet because we haven't gotten into the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And we're just in the feelings of sorrow and joy and general. I will, however, state that I should be using orange for Mac, and I forgot that. So I haven't, so I'm gonna leave it on the side, but I need to be, because Mac is definitely already a character that has been explored in the book already. So just a quick flip on the book as we get through. Again, if you want to understand more about what's going on with my notes and annotations in the forward, you can watch the previous video. I say here that I stopped on March the 9th, 2024. And now we're in chapter 1, and chapter 1 goes from page 18 to 27, I believe. And I stopped this on March 17th, 2024. So I'm writing my date that I ended it, like finished reading, in the upper corner. All right. So let's get into it. So this is chapter 1. Okay, so a confluence of paths. It says, oh, this is a nice little quote. Two roads diverge in the middle of my life. I heard a wise man say, I took the road less traveled by, and that's made the difference every night and every day. I read this poem in my class for Robert Frost, and I explain it as in two paths that you, like when you get to a fork in the road and you have to choose left or right, and that choice kind of leads you down this path. If you ever wondered what that other path would have brought you, that is the road less traveled. And the road less traveled sometimes brings about different experiences because you haven't gone that route yet. All right, so that is usually, I believe, in my financial literacy class when I'm teaching the kids about picking a career and a lifestyle. And I actually use the cartoon Pocahontas. She gets to a river bend where she has to choose a course of smoothness and going with the grain of what her father and her village want her to do, or going against the grain in the rapids and choosing John Smith. Pocahontas picks John Smith. So you see her go on that little other track. All right, but let's get into the shack. All right, so again, I'm highlighting, I'm notating on the edge of my paper, and this kind of goes into nothing on this side, but only a highlight over here. Again, I underline words that I am not familiar with, and I write their definitions down. I didn't write this one down, so I got to go back into that, but I write their definitions down on the side. This just brought me joy. That's what this light blue highlighter is about. I mean, a light blue flag. Joy is in light blue, and it's really because it's talking about the rain. I haven't shared, I have 3 videos of lo-fi with rain sounds that I really want to share on my channel, and I'm going to share them soon. Because rain brings me joy. Like, it brings me this peace. And I was so intrigued that the book really went into that. It says there's something joyful about storms that interrupt the routine. This is really talking about snow more so, but because they're going through a snowstorm. But snow or freezing rain suddenly releases you from expectations, performance demands, and the tyranny of appointments and schedules. Like, rain stops life from lifing for me. Like, you stay in the house, you relax, and you just be. You don't have to deal with the outside world as much because you're kind of confined. Because, oh, it's raining, I'm not going outside. Oh, it's raining, the lights went out, electricity went out, the internet went out. And it's just like, sit there and be. All right, sit there and enjoy. Even if you have electricity, enjoy just the movie. Just focus on that, or just focus on a good book or the people around you. It kind of simplifies life for me The pandemic did the same thing with us not being able to go places and not having to be on someone else's schedule. So I really dove into that, highlighted it, and wrote about me being a pluviophile, which is one who loves the rain, finds joy and peace of mind during rainy days. The reason why I have my lo-fi with rain is because it really makes me relax. Like, it makes me go to sleep. So I can't wait to share that with you all. But I do have this word on I sticker bombed my, what is that thing called? My laptop. So pluviophile is on there as well. All right. We get into here, and this is when, ironically, this is like a big deal of the book, but I didn't really highlight a lot. But Matt goes outside after the snowstorm, and he goes to the mailbox and finds this note. All right. Now, this is him dealing with the great sadness, which was briefly spoken about in the foreword, but it doesn't really explain what happened. Not yet. And we really don't see what happens until chapter 2. We get more details. We don't know the details of what happened, but we know what it is centered around. All right. So the great sadness is brought up again, and there's like this real in-depth definition, a description really, about this ice storm. And he goes out to the mailbox and retrieves this note. There's an envelope. So he tore off the end of the envelope, which was not easy because it's cold. And he reads the note, and it simply says Mackenzie, which is Mac's full like government name. All right, so Mackenzie, it's been a while. I've missed you. I'll be at the shack next weekend if you want to get together. Signed, Papa. All right, I highlighted in green. Papa is the name that Nan has for God. So Nan, again, is Mac's wife of like 30 something years. Like, they've been together for a while. They have 5 beautiful kids. 2 of them are like college bound age, I believe, and the other ones are much younger. So the younger 3. So currently with them are those 3, and Nan and the kids are not present at this time at the house. It's just Mac. So he went to the box himself. He has mixed feelings. He's like, why would it be signed Papa? He says basically like it's a bad joke. He calls the mailman Tony an idiot. He actually goes through and calls and tries to almost make a complaint about the mailman, only to find out that the ice storm affected him not being able to deliver the mail in the first place. So he's like, well, what in the world did this come, like, where did this letter come from if Tony hasn't even delivered the mail? Here is a underline of another word that I wrote my definition out on the side. More definitions. This is really explaining how Mac had a fall. Like a really bad fall though. Like, he like slipped, tripped, and hit his head, and like blood and everything. Like, he has sharp gravel like in his hands, like coming from his head, and it's the back of his head, and so it's, and this is him calling and asking about Tony, because he wants to know who possibly gave this note. So he's going back and forth with the lady at the post office, not in a bad way, but she's like, stay safe. He couldn't even, get there. So it obviously, he comes to the conclusion, that's odd. Who would dare to put something like that in our mailbox? So it's not like it came from somebody mailing it. It was somebody that hand delivered it. All right. So that is basically what's going on in these pages. And then you get here, and this is still about Tony. And he's talking to, I believe he's talking to his wife, and asking like, how is Kate doing over there? Kate is one of their daughters. Nan and the kids end up staying at somebody else's house because of the storm. And Let me see. It says, I've been praying and praying that Papa would help us find a way to reach her, but she paused again. It feels like he isn't listening. All right, so this is when Nan and Mac are on the phone talking about Kate and how, when he says how she's doing, it's not like she hurt herself. She is dealing with something that I believe is related to this great sadness that Mac himself is feeling. And so it's interesting to see Nan say that it feels like Papa isn't listening. So this is her referring to God. Papa was Nan's favorite name for God, and it expressed her delight in the intimate friendship she had with him. So I write here on my notes that Nan has a personal relationship with God, and Max seems to acknowledge him, but not necessarily believe in this friendship. Well, he doesn't have one. So the words brought him no comfort, but he hoped they might ease the worry he could hear in her voice. So he said, honey, I'm sure God knows what he's doing. All right. And again, it's not that he believed that himself. She said, I know, I wish he'd hurry up. All right. As far as like, I guess, not necessarily healing the child, because it's not like she's dealing with any ailment that's physical, but she's obviously going through some kind of mental turmoil within herself, and is either acting out or has retreated from her family, like emotionally. So that is what they're talking about here. I highlight this one. I underline this word, and this is the last page. So I end this chapter here. So in this chapter, I would say we get a glimpse of Mac's relationship with his wife, his children, and his God. Something happened in this great sadness where Mac now sees God in this different light, kind of towards how he saw him in the beginning when he was dealing with how his father, who was a part of the church, would beat him, Mac, and his mom. So once again, Mac is either let down or saddened by God from his point of view, and it is spewing into his daughter, Kate, which seems to be the older daughter, because there's Kate and there's Missy. Missy is like a younger daughter. All right. So that is what happens in chapter 1. We'll go into chapter 2 in another video where again you will see this hoodie because I'm basically shooting all these videos together. So far, I did stop at chapter 2, so I'm assuming when we go through chapter 3, you will see a different hoodie. But to get the fullness of what I just spoke about in chapter 1, please look back and look back and watch my video on the forward to get like a prequel to what's going on in chapter 1. And in a few, I will go over chapter 2 and look forward to those notes and kind of wrap up, I guess, the connection between the forward chapter 1 and chapter 2. All right. See you guys later. Bye.